Okay, so in this video I'm going to be discussing my choices for my MD5313 submission, songwriting and context. Now, in my process, I decided to pick the brief first, obviously, before I decided what sort of song I wanted to write. Mainly because choosing a brief kind of gave me a specific scope to focus on, so I wasn't just sitting around thinking, oh, this would work well for this sort of song. I had the brief, I chose it, so then I could say, oh, this sort of song works well with this. Anyway, so I decided to pick the brief of Mirror. I like this brief because there's a lot of potential for it. It's like there's like a self-reflection potential. You can sing about how like you're looking at your reflection, you see yourself back in your young days, and you compare to where you are now, or you can take or there's a potential for what I ended up doing, which is writing a protest song. I was inspired particularly by Delamitri song "When You Were Young." That's kind of like a song about reflections, looking back to try and find the person you were in the old days, because old society, politics, and things like that, they're all saying that all kind of saying you should give up what your passions and do something practical so that you can actually survive in life. I decided for the structure to go with an AAA format, 4 verses with a refrain at the end, kind of like The Times They Are A-Changing by Bob Dylan. I thought this was more effective because it condensed the message down into bite-sized chunks, and the refrain was just like pushing the message home. So it's like the first two lines would be the new verse. It would like set the point I was trying to make for that verse. Then I'd hammer the point home. It's like take a look, closer look, and find the man you left behind, just to see and then I'd finish it to hammer home the point that is like there is something that's been left behind, but it may not be your fault for it. And yeah. Lyrics wise, I decided that I would try and keep them rhyming, because rhyming definitely makes it easier for people to remember. It's like a hook, yes, is also a hook is very important, but something that really helps like lyric memory is definitely rhyme. So it was able to help make the message clear and make it more memorable, and also it kind of like flowed better when it had rhymes in it, so it didn't feel quite as clunky as it might have been. um Instrumentation, I kept it simple with a guitar, just one guitar and one vocals. I did debate whether to put another guitar in there for just a little bit of lead. However, I thought the style of the song and the impact wouldn't be the same. Be it'd concentrate a lot more on what it sounded like musically rather than getting the message across, which is what I was trying to do with this song. Um, and if I didn't concentrate on the main message, then the then it would get lost. And in a protest song, if you're just writing a song and your message gets lost, then you've wasted your time, because that's what a protest song's about. For the arrangement, I pretty much kept it the same all the way through. For the final verse, the 4th verse, I completely took out tempo and just let chords ring and kept it really slow and chilled, just to get that extra emphasis. Also repeating the first line of the first verse in the fourth verse, kind of bringing the song full circle. So it's like saying the same thing to introduce it, and it's like bringing it back, brings the narrative into a more complete thing. I also decided to change the end chords from what the rest of the song was like. So, because it just felt a bit more complete. Whereas if I'd followed the same chord sequence when I slowed down, if I followed exactly the same chord sequence, exactly the same manner, then it would have taken a lot. It would have tailed off a bit before it ended, and I didn't want that to affect the impact of the overall piece. So I decided to alter the chords a bit to make the verse finish like with the lyrics, instead of tailing off on a little bit of instrumental with an extra chord at the end, because to me that felt a little messy, and again kind of like detracts from the main message if I let it go on too long. Whereas if I cut the chords with the lyrics, then it just seemed to have a better feel and more of an impact, really. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the song, and I composed to the brief of Mirror. Thank you very much.